जय राधा माधव कुंज विहारी। जय राधा माधव कुंज विहारी। जय गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी। जय गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी। यशोदानंदन व्रज जनरंजन। यशोदानंदन व्रज जनरंजन। यमुना तीरा वनचारी। यमुना तीरा वनचारी। जय राधा माधव कुंज विहारी। जय राधा माधव कुंज विहारी। जय गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी। जय गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी। यशोदानंदन व्रज जनरंजन। यशोदानंदन व्रज जनरंजन। यमुना तीरा वनचारी। यमुना तीरा वनचारी। जय राधा माधव कुंज विहारी। जय गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी। यशोदानंदन व्रज जनरंजन। यशोदानंदन व्रज जनरंजन। यमुना तीरा वनचारी। यमुना तीरा वनचारी। जय राधा माधव कुंज विहारी। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे। हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे। हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे। हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे। हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे। हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे। हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे। हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे। हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे। हरे राम 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 हरे ब्रह्मानंदे हरि हरि वो देवों विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्राजकाचार्य अष्टोत्तर शतश्री श्रीमद श्री भक्त वेदांत संस्कृत प्रपात की जय। देवों विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्राजकाचार्य अष्टोत्तर शतश्री श्रीमद श्री भक्त सिद्धांत सरस्वती ठाकुर गोस्वामी प्रपात की जय। अनंत गौड़ वैष्णव वृंद की जय। नमाचार्य श्रीदास ठाकुर की जय। प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद की जय। श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण गोप गोपीनाथ श्याम कुंड राधा कुंड गिरि गोवर्धन की जय। ब्रजभूमि श्री वृंदावन धाम की जय। नवद्वीप मायापुर धाम की जय। श्री क्षेत्र जगन्नाथपुरी धाम की जय। गंगमय यमुनमाई की जय। भक्ति देवी तुलसी महारानी की जय। सामवेद भक्त वृंद की जय। हरिनाम संकीर्तन की जय। निताय गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि वो। All raised to assembled devotees, Hare Krishna. All raised to assembled devotees, Hare Krishna. All raised to assembled devotees, Hare Krishna. All raised, all raised, all raised. All raised to Shri Guru and Shri Gauranga. Prabhupada ki jai. ओम विष्णु पदाय कृष्ण पृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी निधनामने नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवाद पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे। गोपाल की जय। Thank you very much for joining for today's class on Saturday evening, an auspicious Ekadashi, Varudhini Ekadashi day in the month of Vaishak. Because of current pandemic, so we can start chanting one time Hare Krishna Nama Mantra to protect all the devotees and those who are on the front line, doctors and nurses. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. We'll begin with the prayers. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam namaskritya naram chaiva narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jemudirayet. Nasta prayeshu abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Sloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki. Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1, Creation, Chapter 1, question by the sages, verse number 2. Dharma projita kaitavo atra paramo nirmatsaranam satanam Vedhyam vastavam atra vastu sivadham tapatrayo moolanam. Srimad Bhagavate Mahamunikrute kim va parairishvaraha sadhyo hridi avarudyate atra kritivi susrushuvi takshanat. Dharma projita kaitavo atra paramo nirmatsaranam satam Vedhyam vastavam atra vastu sivadam tapatrayo moolanam. Srimad Bhagavate Mahamunikrute kim va parairishvaraha sadhyo hridi avarudyate atra kritivi susrushuvi takshanat. Dharma projita kaitavo atra paramo nirmatsaranam satam Vedhyam vastavam atra vastu sivadam tapatrayo moolanam. Srimad Bhagavate Mahamunikrute kim va parairishvaraha sadhyo hridi avarudyate atra kritivi susrushuvi takshanat. Word to word translation. Dharma, religiosity, projita, completely rejected. Kaitava, covered by fruitive intention. Atra, herein. Parama, the highest. Nirmat Saranam, of the 100% pure in the heart. Satam, devotees. Vedhyam, understandable. Vastavam, factual. Atra, herein. Vastu, substance. Sivadam, well-being. Tapatraya, threefold miseries. Unmulanam, causing uprooting of. Srimad, beautiful. Bhagavate, the Bhagavata Purana. Mahamuni, the great sage Vyasadeva, Krute, having compiled. Kim, what is. Va, the need. Paraihi, others. Ishvaraha, the Supreme Lord. Sadhya, at once. Hridi, within the heart. Avarudyate, becomes compact. Atra, herein. Kritubihi, by the pious men. Susrushubi, by culture. Tat kshanat, without delay. Translation by Divange A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila ki jai. Completely rejecting all religious activities which are materially motivated, this Bhagavata Purana propounds the highest truth, which is understandable by those devotees who are fully pure in heart. The highest truth is reality distinguished from illusion for the welfare of all. Such truth uproots the threefold miseries. This beautiful Bhagavatam, compiled by the great sage Vyasadeva in his maturity, is sufficient in itself for God realization. What is the need of any other scripture? As soon as one attentively and submissively hears the message of Bhagavatam, by this culture of knowledge, the Supreme Lord is established within his heart. Repeat, completely rejecting all religious activities which are materially motivated. This Bhagavata Purana propounds the highest truth, which is understandable by those devotees who are fully pure in heart. The highest truth is reality distinguished from illusion for the welfare of all. Such truth uproots the threefold miseries. This beautiful Bhagavatam, compiled by the great sage Vyasadeva in his maturity, is sufficient in itself for God realization. What is the need of any other scripture? As soon as one attentively and submissively hears the message of Bhagavatam, by this culture of knowledge, the Supreme Lord is established within his heart. And try to understand what Srila Vyasadeva is trying to tell us. Om Ajnanatamidandasya Jnananjanasalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha. Mukam Karoti Vachalam Panghum Langete Girim Yatkrupa Tamaham Vande Sri Gurum Denataran Paramananda Madhavam Sri Chaitanya Ishwaram. So, Hare Krishna, dear devotees. So here we are discussing from Canto 1, Chapter 1, question by the sages, verse number 2. The setting is, Srila Vyasadeva is writing this before Kali Yuga started. Sometimes people may have questions, so this might be mythology or this might be. But there are so many indications in the Shastra. We can see the current setting is Vyasadeva is writing this in the place of Badrika Ashram. And later on also after 3 verses we will see this chapter is titled Question by the Sages, where Saunaka and other rishis assembled in Naimisharanya and speaking to Suta Goswami, asking questions to Suta Goswami. And that also, that Naimisharanya is still there, close to Lucknow, Nimshar, it is also called, from within Uttar Pradesh, 30 miles or 40 miles from there. It is close by Naimisharanya, even now it is there, that place. The same way the third, which is the actual Srimad Bhagavatam, in public first time was spoken by Srila Sukadeva Goswami to Parikshit Maharaj. So that place is also there. It is called Sukratal, which is in I think Uttarakhand, close to Delhi, close to Dehradun, 100 kilometers or so. Sukratal, where Sukadeva Goswami spoke to Parikshit Maharaj. Even now it is there. People go. I know one devotee I met within here in New Jersey itself. He moved back to India. He was from Sukratal. He's close by, or he was from that place. So in that way, so it is very important to know that these are not something which is just a theory or a story somebody. So it is actual facts written. And then Prabhupada quotes that also in these canto. Prabhupada quotes about the future coming generation in the 12th chapter general history. Vyasadeva is writing, where Lord Buddha in third chapter incarnations within this first canto itself, and also in general history also we'll see many more details. What will happen in Kali Yuga? Who and all appears? What kind of distress? What kind of difficulties? Lord Buddha is going to appear in certain place that is called Gaya. And his mother and father Anjana, so the parents, that's where this particular place, that's where he's going to appear and what he's going to preach. And the same thing at the before end of Kali Yuga also, how Kalki, Lord Vishnu appears in the form of Kalki incarnation. He appears at a particular place for a particular parents, and what he does, how he protects Dharma. So all these things are explained. Vyasadeva is writing down, and many more details. Who and all the kings are going to rule the kingdom. Means not every, it doesn't mention about the President Trump or Modi or all this, but at high level, almost every major kings from beginning of Kali Yuga to end, at least the major portions, major personalities are mentioned. What and all will happen. So that way we know that this is not somehow some theory, some mythology. So from that fact, so from last week we understood that here from the first verse, especially the first three verses are very, very important verses actually. Whole setting, Prabhupada was saying in one of the class, one verse of the Bhagavatam you can study for 7 years, 10 years. It can unending. That much depth in there in Srimad Bhagavatam, one verse. It is unable to come, it is very difficult to comprehend that kind of meanings, that kind of understanding, the same subject matter. So that we can understand from that Prabhupada's statement how much deep subject it is. Anyway, so at least from our understanding, from our realizations, we can at least understand from the realization we have received from Srila Prabhupada and the current spiritual masters. So the first verse is first, second, third, we discussed that Sambandha, Avideya and Prayojan. So these are the main aspects. The first verse is describing in a nutshell, Krishna is the source of all the incarnations, he is the source of everything. First of all, he is the source of everything. He is the supreme personality of Godhead. Vyasadeva is establishing Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Janmadhyasyata Anvayat Yataratascha Addesh Abhignaswara. So from that what is Janmadhyasya Yata Anvayat Yataratas. Anvayat Yataratas, directly, indirectly. From that we understood the second point is Krishna is the source of all the incarnations. Some are directly, some are indirectly. So especially the material nature creation, and then further the next line also all the energies. Abhigna Swarat is fully cognizant, but sometimes even Narada Muni, even in this case also it is mentioned, Prabhupada is mentioning Vyasadeva who is writing. Vyasadeva itself is Trikalagna. He knows what was the past, what is current, what is future. So that way, so he is also cognizant. Narada Muni is also cognizant of that fact. Then what is the difference of the Supreme Lord? That's why the Swarat, the self-sufficient, independent. Everybody is dependent. For even Narada Muni or Vyasadeva or anybody who is coming as an incarnation, whatever type of incarnation, direct or indirect, or the Shakti-Avesh avatar like Vyasadeva is a literary incarnation, empowered incarnation. Narada Muni is also coming under that. Even then, all of them still dependent on the Supreme Lord. If Supreme Lord not let them know, then they will not be able to know what the future, what is going to happen. So they are dependent on Lord's mercy. But whereas Supreme Lord, He is the source, that's why He is not dependent on anybody, He is independent. That's why that Swarat is used in that. So that way, so we understand He is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, He is the source of everything, and then He is source of all the incarnations. And also the second next line is also the source of all the energies. That means energetic and energies. That means simultaneously one and different. That means we understood that He is the source of the energy, because he is called energetic. From Him, then we understood from the next two lines that the external energy, which is the Prakriti, the material manifestation, and then the internal energy, which is the from the spiritual world, and the Lord, especially the Hladini potency is the internal energy, Radharani and all the expansions, Lakshmi Devi, Durga Devi, all expansions are coming down from Srimad Bhagavatam, coming under that internal energy, Hladini potency, pleasure potency. And then we are coming under marginal energy. That means we are in between. The choice is there. We can choose to be turned towards internal energy or turned towards marginal energy. Right now we are at a position we are turned towards external energy. So that's why we are here in this material world. So it is time for us, for all the souls, to turn towards internal energy. So that is the main. So that's why that is mentioned. Janmadhyasyata anvayad vitarta chardesh abhignasvara tene brahma hridaya adikave muhyanti yatsurya. That tene brahma hridaya adikave. So Krishna has given, by playing the flute, He has given the topmost understanding by giving the greatest Gayatri mantra, not the first Gayatri mantra, but the highest Gayatri mantra, Krishna Gayatri, has given to Brahma, so that by that everything is revealed. So that is what is mentioned. But sometimes the demigods are also can be bewildered. So in that sense, that the living entity position is not is not God. Living entities are not God. So that is another thing. So we are coming under marginal energy, and then we are dependent on the Lord's mercy. So to the degree we are surrendering, to the degree it will reveal. So the Krishna can reveal as a super soul. That also it is. That's why it is mentioned. Tene Brahma Hridaya Adikavai. So within the heart of Brahma, it is being revealed. So the source of all these energies. And then the last point also mentioned about the Satyam Param Dhimahi. Svena is self-sufficient. So he is self-sufficient. He doesn't need anything from anyone, because from him only everything is coming. So by his love, he is accepting things from living entities. So that is by his love, but otherwise he doesn't need anything from us. And so and then it is mentioned Satyam Param Dhimahi. Vyasadeva is quoting that last line as Gayatri mantra, because it is elevated subject matter. It must be understood sequentially, means chapter by chapter from canto 1. We are not supposed to go and jump on to 10th canto. That means there must be the Gayatri mantra, who it will be given. First Gayatri mantra, this is not talking about first Gayatri, this is talking about the highest level. For even general Gayatri also, there must be elevated person. So that means they should have basic understanding, at least Atata Brahma Jignasa. At least they are situated in Brahman. They understand they are not this body, they are spirit soul. And then this is the higher level understanding, especially here. The absolute truth. Satyam Param Dhimahi means this is the highest Gayatri mantra. That means we have to be elevated. We have to follow the regulative principles as we are discussing. Devotion service in practice, devotion service in ecstasy, devotion service in pure love of God. There are 3 stages. Within the first stage, we have again 2 stages. The first one is with regulative principles, where why the sadhana bhakti is coming. Practitioner is practicing these 9 kinds of devotion service, and then the second stage is spontaneous within this devotion service and practice. When we naturally practice it, gradually we will come to that spontaneous, without anybody telling us, to wake up in the morning, worshiping, chanting the holy names of the Lord, worshipping the Lord. So all the 9 yards of it, offering and dressing and cooking and making garland, whatever. So many things it comes under. But the predominant 9 types are the condensed into 9 types of, mainly 9 types of devotion service. So that's what. So finally the first verse conclusion is basically source. Supreme Lord is the source of all the incarnation, is the source of everything, is the origin, is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Then he is the source of all the energies, is the energetic. From him, these internal energy, marginal energy, external energy is coming. And then And then also this is the elevated subject matter. It must be understood in regulation with the following regulative principles. And from the beginning, we shouldn't directly jump on to Canto 10 or any other cantos. First start. But not only that, the last point is source of all the rasas. That is also a very important point. Because that means all the rasas, the 5 primary rasas, Santa, Dasya, Sakya, Vatsalya, Madhurya. Neutrality, that neutrality is there, and Dasya, master and servant, this is there in the most of the majority, 80% of the Vaikuntha spiritual world planets, and the rest of the 20% within that, the highest is Golok Vrindavan. So that's where the Sakya, Vatsalya, the first 3 rasas, topmost rasas, they are only there in the Golok Vrindavan. It is not there in down planets and rest of the Vaikuntha planets. In Ayodhya, also it is Dasya is there, but a little more higher than, it's not just master servant, but a higher rasa is there, higher kind of Dasya in Ayodhya Dham. But then when you go up, then you have Dwaraka Dham, more opulence, and then you have Jagannath Puri, again another opulence. That's why Jagannath Puri is called Aishwarya Dham. Then Vrindavan is called Madhurya Dham. Then Mayapur is called Mayapur is called what is that? Audharya Dham, Mercy Dham, Dham of receiving mercy. In this way, even the spiritual world, the same Mayapur is there, Sweta Dvip within the Golok Vrindavan, and then Jagannath Puri is there below that. So, but then that is Aishwarya Dham in that way. The Dwaraka also more of opulence. Krishna is not exact Vrindavan, Krishna is a different Krishna. Then Mathura is also there above Jagannath Puri, little more. Some Vatsalya is there, some portions of Vatsalya is there. And this Dasya, Sakya, Sakya, Vatsalya, Madhura. These are there to some extent, but the highest degree, highest degree is there in actual Golok Vrindavan. Dwaraka, Mathura also we have these 3 rasas. But below that, they only up to Sakya, only up to Dasya ras. The other 3 rasas are not there. And then the 7 secondary rasas. But this is the source of all the rasas, all these 12 rasas. Whatever you see in this whole world, whether perverted reflection, that is coming because in the material world you see all these rasas, but with a perverted reflection. But the reality in absolute truth, without any tinge of material aspect, that is there in the spiritual world. So that is all coming from the Supreme Lord. Now, the verse number 2, because we need to understand this in detail. So here verse number 2, is coming under, that is Sambandha Jnana we understood. We are the spirit souls and our relationship with the Supreme Lord. That is from the first verse we understand the Sambandha. Now we have to come to the understanding of Avideya. So the second verse here, what exactly is Dharma? Almost every word has a detailed explanation has to be given. So much detail in this Dharma. What exactly is Dharma? So let's go one by one only. So that Dharma is understood in general in English. It is termed as faith. That faith can change, but that is not the here. That's why it is addition is there. Dharma projita kaitavo. Sridhar Swami, Prabhupada is quoting Sridhar Swami, who is the original commentator on Srimad Bhagavatam. Projita kaitavo. That projita means it is completely rejected. Kaitava, anything with a fruitive intention. So the prakrushta rupena ujjita. So that means anything with the material motives. Anything that means general dharma means religiosity. People think the 4 chaturvarga. Prabhupada is saying dharma, artha, kama, moksha. That means religiosity, rituals and various things, and then economic development, and then sense enjoyment, and then liberation. These 4 things coming under. So these chaturvarga. But here that dharma, projita kaito, means because all of them has some kind of fruitive intentions. So you perform karma yoga, people want to get some benefits, so they want to go to enjoy higher planets, then they perform karma yoga. But then some people may perform jnana yoga who may want to merge into Brahman effulgence, Brahma Jyoti, so nirbheda brahmanusandhan. Where there is no variety. So they want to merge into the Brahman, where because they believe that Lord doesn't have a form. That is what is Jnana Yogis. And then, so that in Vedas also these are all mentioned in various ways. Confidentially it is mentioned, the ultimate is the Bhakti Yoga, but somehow or the other, predominantly it is describing about Karma Kanda, Jnana Kanda, Upasana Kanda. That Jnana Kanda is merging into Brahmana effulgence, Nirakar form. Then Upasana Kanda more of worshipping all various types of Pancha, 5 kinds of worship, starting from Surya, Ganesha, Shakti. So in that way, so Shiva, and then finally Vishnu. But that is very, very limited. So most of the cases people take that as all this so Upasana kind of worshipping to better enjoy, get into demigod planets. Whatever demigod they are worshipping, they will enter into their planets. But it's all still temporary. So that's it. But here, that's all those are rejected. What exactly is dharma? Just like we take an example. So how we should understand dharma, that also we will know. We will try to get to that. So dharma means it is not a faith. It is a eternal, whatever doesn't change. It is mentioned especially is called Sanatana Dharma or Bhagavata Dharma. That means which doesn't change. Sanatana means which doesn't change eternally. What doesn't change? That we have to see. So let's take an example so that we understand clearly. So dharma of the ocean is salty. Dharma of the water is liquidity. So in that way, so we understand. So now coming to the dharma of the soul. So because we know dharma, various dharmas, we can say dharma of the body, dharma of the family, dharma of the community, dharma of the nation, dharma of the jati. So the caste, so many, all these jati dharma, desha dharma, so community dharma, so many dharmas are there. But these are not the dharmas here Srimad Bhagavatam is talking about. Because Vyasadeva was writing all these Vedas, Upanishads, but he was not happy. He was still despondent. So then Narada Muni has instructed him. That's when this Srimad Bhagavatam, that we'll try to go in that detail. Last line where it is mentioned, Mahamuni Krute Kimba Prayeswara, about Sri Vyasadeva. When did he write this? In what condition, what state of mind he has written this? This is happening, this Vyasadeva is writing this. The scene setting is in Badri Ashram, surrounded by, sitting on the Samya Prasa, place called Samya Prasa near Badri Ashram, within that Badri Ashram, and then, what is it? On the bank of Saraswati river. And then a berry tree surrounded, that's where he is writing this, Srimad Bhagavatam, in his maturity. We'll go in that detail, but anyways, coming back to the Dharma. So, the Dharma of the soul, not the Dharma of the body, not the Dharma of the family, all these things, but here, specifically Srimad Bhagavatam, after adding this Dharma Projito Kaitavo Atra, that means all other these various Dharmas are rejected. The primary dharma, what is the main core dharma, if you look at of all the living entities, Jivera Surupai Nitya Krishna Das. So that means we are eternally we are the servant of Krishna. So what we are supposed to do when servant, the soul, just like if we try to perceive it, we try to see in each and every place. So the wife is serving husband, or husband is serving wife, or they are serving kids. So the service is the key component we see everywhere, whether in the office or wherever, community, business, wherever you go, the service. Somebody is trying to serve others, friends, whatever you see in this whole world, it is about, but it has a somehow material connotation to it. So that's where the problem is. So here, the Srimad Bhagavatam is propounding the highest truth, is giving that real dharma. So that's why it is mentioned, Savai Pumsam Paro Dharma. What is the highest dharma? Bhagavad dharma is Paro Dharma. Eto Bhaktir Adokshaje. Ahaituki Apratadatma Eyatma Suprasidati. The Paro Dharma is trying to serve the Adokshaja, one who cannot be understood. Ada Akshaja. So one cannot be understood by blunt material senses. This is called Adokshaja. So by serving the Supreme Lord without any expecting anything in return, ahaituki apradada, without any conditions, without any motivations, uninterruptedly, that is the highest dharma. So that is what the real dharma, dharma of the soul you are talking about. So dharma of the soul is natural propensity is to serve the super soul, serve the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So we are Satchit Ananda Vigraha. full of consciousness, full of eternality, full of knowledge, full of bliss. That happiness will come when we use that core dharma, mainly focuses on Supreme Lord. When we are God-centered, when we are Krishna-centered, then it will help us to be more develop, get happiness, realize our original position. We see everything in as a part and parcel of Krishna. Mamaivanso jiva loke jiva bhuta sanatana, as Supreme Lord Himself. Srimad Bhagavatam is called sound incarnation of the Supreme Lord. When Bhagavad Gita is called sound representation, the sound representation of the Supreme, because directly Krishna spoke, Shabda. And here this is sound incarnation. Prabhupada says in this way. So anyway, so that in this way, this is the real dharma is, here it is talking about all other dharmas are rejected. So we'll come to that in specific place. Prabhupada uses this. Here we are talking about rejected. What dharmas are rejected? Chala dharma, upadharma, vidharma, abhasa dharma, upadharma. So all these 5 kinds of dharmas. This Narada Muni is talking to Yudhishthira Maharaj. We'll go into that. But let's see how we receive, how we understand this dharma. Because you may say, now people may say, hey, this is, you are talking about Vyasadeva, who knows? In Western countries, Africa, America, who knows about this dharma? This is more because somebody was asking me in my office, my boss, Western person is asking me, what faith you follow? Because he knows I don't eat outside and all this. He was asking me. I said, yes, I follow. Are you Hindu? And all, like that, in that way he is asking. I said, no, we follow. It is called Sanatan Dharma, eternal. What it means is, we see everybody as part and parcel. We see that everything is coming from God. We see that everything in relation with God. We try to realize everything. We see that and we try to utilize in as much as possible in the service of God. So that is what this Sanatan. There is no concept of, there is no word called Hindu in any of the Vedic texts. And then he is Christian. Then I told it's more or less same as the same philosophy you have in Christianity also. Lord Jesus Christ has shown it's more or less same, but how much? So that's why the real dharma, Prabhupada explained, the real religion means which develops love of God. Any religion, because faith can change. That's why this dharma is not faith. In English terminology, yes, it is translated into faith, but in Sanskrit it is clearly translated as which is that which doesn't change, that the constitutional position of the soul is to serve the Supreme Jiva Swarupa Nitya Krishna Das. That is the actual meaning of the real dharma. And so now Shastra is explaining, because now how the Western people or other people may know, India people, yes, they can believe. Now let's go back to the simple example of that. Body is changing. Everybody is going through the small baby to the next anger, then old age. And in this way, body is changing. So now, can you say that only this is happening in India? No, this is not happening only in India. In each and every living form, each and every country and place, this material, all the universe, everywhere, the body is changing. The body is changing from one form to boyhood to youthhood to adult and old age, and in this way, and then dwindling and finally leaving this body. This is happening. So where is the question? This Sanatana Dharma is talking about the actual, that consciousness which is there in this body. What exactly is changing? What is changing? What is not changing? That is what the reality which doesn't change, the eternal. So that is what here the real Dharma. So in that way, so you have to understand that this is not somehow just specific to India. This is not specific to any place or any person. This is not just only to Brahmanas or only Vaishnavas or some. This is a universal. This absolute truth is for every living entity, especially for human beings. So that's how we understand. Now, how do we know what exactly is Dharma? Because people may say they can, that's why these 5 types of Dharma is explained. So now Prabhupada explains that Dharmantu Sakshat Bhagavat Pranitam. Yamaraj is explaining, one of the Mahajana is explaining to these Yama Bhattas, when Ajamila is about to die, when he performed so many sinful activities, 613, Canto 6, chapter 1, verse number 3, I think. So Dharmantu Sakshat Bhagavat Pranitam. Because these Yama Bhattas, they couldn't snatch the soul of this living entity, especially Ajamil, because he uttered a name of Lord Narayan. Then he couldn't they couldn't take the soul. then the Vishnu Dutas appeared there, and then they protected him. Then finally he went to Haridwar and performed 6 months or more. Then he went back to Godhead. So that is the second Shruta, where then these Yamabhatas went back to Yamaraj and asked, "Hey, what happened here? We are trying to do dharma, but we see completely opposite. Are you not the controller? Who is the actual controller? We thought you are the controller. You have the power. You have the supreme power. How come we are not able to do our job?" Then Yamadharmaraj explained, well, these are the rules. That way, Dharmantu Sakshat Bhagavat Pranita means, just like again example. So in our country, in the US, we are in the US, so we have to drive on the left hand side. We have to drive and follow the rules given by the government, rules given by the enunciated by President Trump or whoever is the president, and then whatever the rules. As a good citizen means we have to follow the rules. Whether you believe it or not, it's not a question of belief. That's what dharma means. People may interpret as faith. Yes, you can take today one kind of faith and tomorrow you can change it to another faith, but that's not what exactly Srimad Bhagavatam is speaking. Srimad Bhagavatam is speaking just like the country, state rules, specific rules. As we can see, even in the COVID also, Trump has given the particular rules. People has to follow the rules. So some places it is very strict, some places they are still there, didn't put the military and all, that's why still people are going, but otherwise they can put all those restrictions. It is up to, because once it is given, there is no question of you believe it or not. It is not your question. It is that is authority is giving. So that the same way, so here it is mentioned Dharmantu Sakshat. This is enunciated by the Supreme Lord. So that is what we have to understand. Yamadharmaraj is explaining to these Yamabhatas. And this is what real dharma means. And then further also, Prabhupada explains that then we may say, then how do you interpret? Because people may say so many different ways, same Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam, all these literatures, so many people interpret in their own way. Some are in the Karma Yoga, some are in performing Jnana Yoga, some are performing Upasana Kanda. So then they may interpret in their own way. So that's why, again, that verse is also there in Madhya Leela of Chaitanya Charitamrita, I think, chapter 22, and also in 1755, I think, and then this is also there in Mahabharata, Yudhishthira Maharaj speaking in Vanaparva 113, some verse number, I don't remember. So it is mentioned, Tarka Apratishta Srutayo Vibhinna, Naso Munijyasya Matam Na Bhinnam, Dharmasya Tattvam Nihitam Guhayam, Mahajanasya Ena Gatasya Panta. So how do you receive, how do you understand the actual real Dharma of the living entity? So what is real Dharma? Not only within the living entity also, sometimes we may come to confusion by looking at some principles we see, some acharyas instruction, or in Bhagavad Gita we read verses, but we don't understand, we are not able to comprehend. So how do you understand? It is not self-study. So we should study every day, but we should also hear from the authority, from Srila Prabhupada, current disciples, so that when we hear, after a gradual study, we will be able to understand the meaning and what exactly it means. So what we need to do. So that's why here it is mentioned, many of the munis, many of the sages, they may interpret, but even they get bewildered. They themselves don't know the real absolute truth. Who knows? It is very confidential. It is Tarka Apratishta. It is not understood by logic, arguments, by scholarship. Srutayo Vibhinna. You can hear so many theories, because that's why in the first verse, in the second verse also, there are almost the 6 philosophies are there. Vaibhashika and then Nyaya, because this Gautama, Kanada, Astavakra, different yoga. So these 6 kinds of philosophies are there. But the actual philosophy is this, the ultimate philosophy is the supreme absolute truth, this Achintya Beda Abheda Tattva. So, but anything in relation with the Supreme Lord, worshipping the Lord, Vishnu, Lord Krishna, Lord Rama, Vishnu Tattvas, that is the highest truth. That kind of, all other 6 philosophies, they are not talking about the highest thing. They are giving somehow or the other, yes, just enjoy in this material world. Somehow you perform fruitive activities, you perform this, emerge into Brahmana effulgence. In the various ways, they are diverting and diluting the actual subject. That's why in this second verse we see Vedyam Vastavam Vastu Vastu. So that we have to understand carefully what exactly this means. So in this way, so we understand tarka apratishta sutayo vivinna naso munijjasa matam na vinnam. So different ways, different sages, different munis, they will give their own interpretations. But that's not what this dharma means. And so only way you can understand dharmasya tattvam nihitam guhayam. Very confidential. Mahajanasya yena gatasya panta. Only way you can understand is by from Mahajanas, pure devotees. So those Mahajanas and Prabhupada giving that Bhagavatam, it is explained, I forget the verse, exact canto, but you can search it. It starts with these 12 Mahajanas, Brahma, Narada, Bhishma, Janaka, Vayasaki, Sukadeva Goswami, Vyasdev, then Janaka, Kapila, all this. So 12 Mahajanas. So they exactly understand what Shastra is speaking, what Supreme Lord is saying, and each and every verse. So they don't interpret their own way. They don't try to divert the living entities from the absolute truth. So that's why. So we have to carefully understand in this way. So now let's understand what exactly these the 5 dharmas. Vidharma. This is explained. Narada Muni is explained to Yudhishthira Maharaj in Canto 7, chapter 15. I think verse number beginning verses only. I think 7 or 8. I think so. Where it is explained that the 5 kinds of dharmas, which are not the real, not the pure dharma. The real dharma is talking about this Parava dharma in this specific verse. Dharma projita kaito. That's all other ones are rejected. All this dharma, artha, kama, moksha, even liberation is rejected. So here it is talking about vidharma. First, vidharma is nothing but against the religious principles. So one's own religious principles, somebody is trying to follow, instruct someone against their own religious principles. So that is called vidharma, and against the Shastra. Because in Bhagavad Gita also we see Krishna is explained Arjuna, follow your own dharma. Don't try to, you are Kshatriya, don't try to take up Brahmana's dharma or Sudra's dharma or Vaishya's dharma. Swadharma, perform your own dharma. Don't paradharma bhayavaha. Same way here also. That vidharma means you have to do your dharma as per the particular varna and ashram, whatever, or the highest, here specifically highest dharma. But those who don't try to follow others, I'm somehow or the other, you try to follow others' dharma, you don't do your dharma, that's not going to help. Shastra is condemning that. In Bhagavad Gita we see in all scriptures it is clearly mentioned, vidharma. Narada was instructing perfection of a civilized human being. This instruction. Then we have what is it? Chaladharma. Chaladharma means misinterpreting the Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam, any Vedic literature. That's why we see when before Prabhupada was translating Bhagavad Gita as it is, there are almost at that time itself 200 plus translations. Now I think when Prabhupada is about to leave the planet, at that time itself 600 plus. Now I don't know, it may be thousands. So people may write their own ideas and thoughts. It may be, I may think, I may. So all these concepts, it is not fixed. They don't have their own self-realization. They themselves hasn't realized fully. They themselves didn't practice. So that's why in Canto 2, Parikshit Maharaj Sukadeva was a conversation. It is explained. In order for anybody to receive benefit, 2 things are required. The speaker must be Bhagavat Pradhan. That means he must be fully realized and receive the knowledge in a bona fide Acharya, bona fide Sampradaya. Then the receiver must be, that word is used also here, Sushrushabhi. Sushrusha, that means he must be very much receptive and submissive and fully surrendered. With rapt attention is hearing. So these 2 qualities must be there, the speaker and the recipient. So that way, when speaker might be situated in Bhagavat Pradhan, but if the recipient is not situated in this receiving and is not situated in that humble and submission, is not trying to really understand the absolute truth, but he has some kind of other unwanted things are there, then he will not be able to receive. He will not be able to get transformed. So you may receive as information from one ear and goes through other ear. It doesn't help us. So that's why all this we have to note down. When we read Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam, when we are hearing also, at least we should write down the important points, because we have to apply it. That's when it comes to application. When the hearing and chanting, that's why again Jiva Goswami is saying in Nectar of Instruction or some other place, it has to transform the Sravana Dasha, Varana Dasha, and then Smaranavastha Dasha. Three Dasha. Sravana Dasha, you keep on hearing it, but then Varana Dasha, you increase that with the determined focus. But then it has to come to the absorption, recollection. That means whatever you heard, and then whatever with rapt attention, Sravana and Varana, sometimes you may hear one day, second day, today I'm busy, I don't have time to read or hear. So in that way we do. But then Varana Dasha means you are focused. The third one means not only hearing, but also you are able to recollect rest of the day. You are able to apply it. You are going on the absorption on the lotus feet of the Supreme Lord. The particular pastime, whatever you are hearing, whatever topic you are hearing. In that way, so the absorption, recollection, that is Smaranavastha Dasya. Jiva Goswami. All these points we have to note down, and then we have to see what it means. If we have questions, then we should ask someone. So that then that has to put into practice. The idea is for this specific verse, the Sambandha Abhideya means it's a practice. The real Dharma, it is mentioned here, is we have to put into practice. Are we following our own, or we are trying to follow some bhakti, some karma, some jnana, some yoga, whatever we try to take, whatever we like, we try to take a mix from here and there, one here, one there. It's not going to work, because it will work way that you will get material benefits and whatever other thing, but we don't get, we will not be able to transform, we will not be able to get the Krishna Prema, real love of God. Real religion, real Dharma, here it is mentioned, is the highest Dharma, is not to follow Vidharma, not to follow somebody else's principles. So not to follow Charadharma, that means misinterpreting your own ideas. Even when we read as devotees also, that's why carefully. So the way to read, because from the past experience I can tell, I regularly, because I was somehow mercifully, I received the mercy I used to regularly hear from Hariram Prabhu. He is an amazing speaker, and he has really understood what Prabhupada's thought process is. So he used to go point by point, exactly to the verse, to the point, to the word. He will not go not even 1 inch out of that, exactly to the point. That's how he used to explain, especially he used to speak on Srimad Bhagavatam. I was really attracted. So after hearing from him, then I used to really go back home and read those verses again, and try to remember those verses exactly, and then I used to ask him questions also in next class. That way, so this way, so that he has given that mercy, he has given somehow or other attraction for Srimad Bhagavatam. That's how it began. So that way, so that's why we have to see who has really presenting Srila Prabhupada's teachings as it is, and trying to, and understood the inner heart. That's why our principal Acharya, Srila Rupa Goswami, so how he is able to understand the mercy of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Krishna appeared as Chaitanya, he understood. Sri Chaitanya Manovishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kada Mahyam Dadati Swapadantikam. He could understand what exactly is going on. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is dancing in Radhayatra in Jagannath Puri. What exactly is he used to chant a verse. And nobody else except his personal associate Swarup Damodar Goswami, nobody else could understand. But Rupa Goswami could understand what exactly. In a coded language, he used to chant one verse. This is in Antya-lila chapter 1, verse number 71. 71. Very, very important verses. If somebody wants to really go deep in devotion service, these 2 verses, rather you must note down and then again try to remember these verses. Very, very deep subject matter actually. That can really take us into the deep in devotion. How Rupa Goswami understood what these verses, what is Mahaprabhu's mood, 70 and 71. I will not discuss that in detail, but to just say how, so that the only way you can understand is by hearing from, because he has received, he used to behave in such a way. Rupa Goswami received mercy from all his disciples of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, all his associates. Mahaprabhu introduced everyone, he used to offer obeisances, and Mahaprabhu told Advaita Acharya, Nityananda Prabhu, all of you and all the devotees, he told everybody who came from Bengal and all the places to attend Radhayatra, everybody, all of you, please shower your mercy on Rupa Goswami. And then Rupa Goswami is not ordinary person. He is the Prime Minister and Finance Minister, Rupa Goswami, Sanatana Goswami. Both really understood. Sanatana Goswami also, same thing. We'll see in chapter 4 of Antilila. Amazing. Then there, where we are discussing from chapter 1, what is real dharma? So, bhakti is concluding. Very important. Those verses also very important verses. In chapter 4 of Antilila, it is mentioned, भजनेरे मध्ये श्रेष्ठ भजनेरे मध्ये श्रेष्ठ Navaveda bhakti. Out of all the bhakti has so many components. In that the topmost is Navaveda bhakti. So the 9 kinds of devotion, which is Sravanam, Kirtanam, Smaranam, Achanam, Mandanam, Dasyam, Sakyam, Atmanivedam. Iti Pamsarpita Vishnu Bhakti Chet Navalakshana. That Manyatat Ajitam Uttamam. The topmost thing is this performing these 9 types of devotion service. Living entity must try to perform. So here Sanatana Goswami, Mahaprabhu himself is speaking to Sanatana Goswami that out of all this bhakti process, the 9 types of devotions is the seva. What will it do? What will it do? Krishna Prema Dite Dhare Mahashakti. It has the greatest power to deliver Krishna Prema to and attain Krishna. This is the, then further continues. In that, what is the essence? What is the essence in that also? Within that 9, again, Tara Madhya Sarva Shrestha. Within this 9, what is the essence? Tara Madhya Sarva Shrestha Harinama Sankirtan. Tara Madhya Sarva Shrestha Harinama Sankirtan. Nirantara Namalailo Paye Krishna Premadana. So out of all these 9, the essence is the chanting the holy name of the Lord. And then Nirantara Namalaila, those who are taking the holy name constantly, regularly, practicing, trying to practice, increasing, trying to absorb in the holy name, then for them the holy and the Krishna Prema is guaranteed. Mahaprabhu is giving this. This is in chapter 4, Antilila, I think 50 or 51, something like that. Very beautiful verses. So when we see we have to note down, otherwise we'll keep on going with our flow of day-to-day life. We'll not remember, because otherwise we cannot put into practice. When we receive the seeds of this kind of bhakti through these acharyas, so we have to really pray to Rupa Goswami and Sanatana Goswami. They are the pillars of our sampradaya. The Prabhupada used to pray before he came to Western world. Rupa Goswami Samadhi Mandir, he used to from in that temple, Radha Damodar Mandir, he used to watch and see and pray, cry for to Rupa Goswami to give the mercy so that he can understand his Guru's order, how to implement, how to understand the deep devotion, bhakti. In that way, we can see how Prabhupada is able to transform us. Anyway, so let's go back here. So the dharma, so you can understand how much, we are talking about the 5 kinds of dharma. Vidharma means against religious principles and following others' dharma. So especially against your own dharma. You are not following your dharma, but you are following somebody other's dharma. So paradharma, also a similar aspect. And then chaladharma. And chaladharma means you are trying to interpret Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam with your own logic and arguments, your own thoughts. As devotees also, we shouldn't put our thoughts. If you don't understand, read again and then ask someone else questions, so that way we clear up the doubts. Don't keep the speculations within the mind, which is not going to help us to advance in Krishna consciousness. And then Upadharma. Upadharma means, again, people may create their own religious principles, come up with, yes, because in some of the institutions we see in today's world also, they will pick something what they like and they will add something. Yes, you can eat meat, you can drink, you can smoke, you can do all those things. Yes, you can perform this yoga, that yoga, everything you can do. You can worship anyone and you get the same result. In this way, so they come up with their own ideas and thoughts and philosophies. So that this is called under the Upadharma. Upadharma. And then Abhasa Dharma means just like Nam Abhas. You give your own conclusions, your own interpretations, and you try to not follow the actual Vedic principles, and try to come up with your own ideas and implement it. So that is called Abhasa Dharma. So this is explained in this Canto 7, chapter 15. It's a detail, you can read. So in this way we understand this dharma projita kaitavo. So all other religion is rejected. The actual real dharma is the constitution. Understand the constitutional position of the soul and serve the Supreme Lord. What does it mean? Means we shouldn't think that, oh, Krishna is telling here this is the only thing, just worship the Supreme Lord, you don't need to follow any other. Though that's not the point. The core dharma we have to keep. That means in any other things we do, so we have to remember that this is we are representing Krishna, we are servant of Krishna, we are seeing everything as part and parcel of Krishna. Whether performing or because this body is part and parcel of Krishna, that means this body also belongs to him. Especially if we have surrendered as initiation, surrendered to spiritual monks, then this body doesn't belong to us anymore. So that in that way, so then our family, our parents, our friends, community, all in each and everything you look at is a property of Supreme Lord. So the source is Supreme Lord. So that is what the core identity we must not forget. And the vision, how we see it, what is our intention, what is our mood when we do things. So that's why in Bhagavad Gita also you will see that Krishna is not telling Arjuna, hey, give up, just worship me. So he is not, no, rather he is telling, Tasmat sarveshu kalesu mam anusmara yuddhache. Think of me and also fight. He is not telling renounce your duty. He is telling, yes, you need to perform your dharma, of your actually is Kshatriya is to perform dharma, but remember me, that is the core principle, serving Supreme Lord. In that also, because Arjuna was giving his own, all these 5 types of dharma, but Krishna makes sure that whatever I am giving, that is dharma. Even though seemingly externally it may seeming irreligion or it may seeming why Krishna is asking to fight, violence. People may interpret it their own way, but no. Whatever God gives, everything is good. Seemingly it may seem externally not correct, but because Dharmantu Sakshat Bhagavat Pranitam. So he knows exactly what dharma means. He is the one who is creating the rules. So we have to follow what he is saying. So that's why, so he's telling that then Abhyasa Yoga Yuktena Chetasa Nanya Gamana. We have to practice this. So that's why here, this is especially Sambandha Abhideya, means practice. We have to put this into practice. This practice means real dharma, the real, that each and everything what we do in day-to-day basis, somehow or the other understand this body belongs to Krishna, our family belongs to Krishna, everything, they are all the property of Krishna. We see them in that way, and then we serve in that way, our devotees, whoever we see. So all this, so in that way we have to focus on the core identity. That's what here it means, dharma projata kaitavo, atra paramo nirmatsaranam satam. So then this nirmatsaranam, matsarata, again Sridhara, so Prabhupada is quoting Sridhara Swami here. The matsarata means Matsarata para utkarshanam prahasanam. That means people in this material world are envious. Somebody, it could be within family members, it could be even within devotees also. We can see that, oh, somebody is advanced, somebody is knows Shastra, or sometimes somebody is too much rich, he is not working, but somehow the other is getting promotion, he has a lot of bank balance, somebody has a nice house, somebody has a nice car. In various ways we think within the family or even outside, within the friends, which is, and Prabhupada is quoting from his own example. When he was a child, not when he was a child, he has kids, he was in Grihastha ashram before, then his son went to school and then he got a top rank or something, top grade, and then his other fellow students then started envious of him. So Prabhupada is quoting that in the purport. So then in this way, so we can understand this is what in the material world. So that's why, but Srimad Bhagavatam is not for those. If somebody is envious, they will not be able to understand this confidential subject matter. Nirmat saranam satam. This must be first of all understood among the devotees. In the association of devotees, you must hear, you must understand. Nirmat saranam. So matsarata means we have to give up this envious. This is specifically for those who are non-envious. Otherwise, we will not be able to understand. Then Vedyam, you have to understand in that way. Vastavam atra vastu. This vastu, Vastavam is also coming from vastu. Prabhupada explains this in detail. Vastu is the Supreme Lord, actually. And the Vastavam means it is a byproduct of vastu. The real substance, the real source is the Supreme Lord. Vastu means real substance, real ashraya, But the Vastava means all the energies of the Supreme Lord. The energies, that means internal energy, external energy, marginal. Parasya Shaktir Vibhadaiva Sruyate Swabhavaki Gnana Bala Kriya. Parasya Shakti. Krishna has multifarious energies, all these three types of predominantly categorized into three types. Vibhadaiva Swabhavaki Gnana Bala Kriya. He has a full strength that just by his glance he can do anything and everything. He can create, he can destroy, he can maintain, he can do anything just by his thought. Not like us. That he has the full potency to do that. So that is his potential. So that's why that Vedyam Vastavam Atra Vastu. So we have to understand. So as energetic, as energies, as a marginal energy, living entity, we have to support, we have to serve this real substance, real Supreme Lord, Vastu. Then what will happen? What is the result? Sivadam Tapatrayon Molanam. This is a connection to that. When we engage in that way, using that, understanding the real Dharma and practicing on day-to-day basis, when we act, what will happen? Serving the Vastu, real substance, Supreme Lord, Sivadam, it becomes very auspicious. And what will happen? Not only Tapatraya Unmolanam, it will remove all the these unwanted things, especially that it is categorized as three things: Adi Bhautika, Adi Atmika, and Adi Daivika Kleshas. So all the difficulties. So one which is Adi Bhautika, Adi Atmika, from our own mind and body. It comes so many difficulties we get. We overeat, or sometimes mental, different kinds of diseases, different kinds of problems from our own body and mind. That is the Adi Bhautika, Adi Atmika. So, and then Adi Bhautika means from other living entities. It could be from mosquitoes, it could be other animals, it could be other friends, other living entities, in that way. And then Adi Daivika is from this COVID, is one of the example of Adi Daivik, because it is given by demigods, because they are the in charge. Too much snow, too much heat, too much cold, different disturbances, different viruses, all these are coming based on how the living entities engage in activities. Accordingly, the demigods, they are the in charge, because that's what their business is. Karanam Gunasanga Sad Asad Janma Yonishu. Whatever you perform actions, then reactions, they are watching, and then accordingly they are providing the reactions. So that's why. So we have to be careful in following these rules enunciated by the Supreme Lord. So otherwise we will have to get reactions. That's what Tapatra. By performing this real Dharma, the core identity, without giving up our other dharmas, whatever, body dharma, family dharma, whatever the dharmas, with the core identity we should perform, so that it will become really auspicious, and it will be happy. It will really will become happy by performing those duties. Otherwise, it will produce this lust, anger, greed, all other things will come up. The 6 unwanted things automatically will come up. Because we are not centered of Krishna, real Dharma is not the center in our duties, then automatically then it will produce these tapatrayas will come. These 3 types of difficulties will come, no matter how hard it is. So, but when we are focused with Krishna in the center, in all our day-to-day duties, then automatically it will remove. It becomes very, very auspicious. Tapatraya Unmolanam. Then Srimad Bhagavatam Mahamuni Krute. This Mahamuni is Srila Vyasdev, and Krute. Prabhupada explained this. Kruti means there are 2 things. So Kruti, Duskruti or Sukruti. Duskruti means one who is doesn't have pious credits. Irreligious activity, impious credit. Sukruti means one who has pious credits. So here Mahamuni Krute, Srila Vyasdev. When did he write down? Because you can say, this is ordinary text, who cares? But here that's why Srimad Bhagavatam, this text was written by Srila Vyasdev when he is in Kimva Paraireshwara, when he is situated in transcendence, when he is situated in maturity. Prabhupada explains in one of the verses. So then when we go back, we can see in Canto 1, chapter 7, verse number 5 or 6, where Narada Muni gives instruction to Vyasdev when he was despondent after writing all these Veda, Upanishads, Puranas, as per Srimad Bhagavatam was not yet written at that time. Then Narada Muni instructs, you try to deviate, try to give so many ways, you really didn't bring souls into the actual real essence. Then after instructing, then in Badrikashram, Samyapras, berry trees, then he is meditating, completely focused. Bhakti yogena manasi samyak prani hite amale. Apasyat Purusham Purnam Mayam Chadat Apashrayam. He is able to see, he is completely focused on the Supreme Lord, performing in the Bhakti Yoga, not any other yoga. Then automatically he is able to see right away, immediately, the Supreme Lord. Purusham Purnam, the full, that means the original personality, Krishna, is able to see Krishna. Along with Krishna, is also able to see Mayanchatat Apasya. On the backside of Krishna, is able to see the external energy, so strongly working in this material world, how it is working. So in that situation, he has written this Srimad Bhagavatam. And same thing we'll see in Sukadeva Goswami also. Actually, this Srimad Bhagavatam was spoken by Sukadeva Goswami in public, and that also we'll see in the Canto 2, in the chapter 1. Chapter 1. Idam Bhagavatam Nama Puranam Brahma Samhitam. It is mentioned. How Dvaipayana Aditavan Dvaipayana, and then Pitur Dvaipayanadaham. So I have received this knowledge from Vyasadeva. Idam Bhagavatam Puranam Brahma Samhitam. This is the essence of all the Vedas, Vedantas, everything, you name it. This is the essence, the topmost literature. I have received from Vyasadeva directly, from my father. But then further he continues that he is saying, even though I am situated, Parinistito api Nirgunya, even though I am situated in transcendence, because he has appeared after 16 years in the womb of his mother, he didn't come out until he has given assurance that he will not be attached to this material world. Then only he came out from the womb. Until that point he didn't come out. So then he left immediately. As soon as he came out from the womb, then Vyasadeva was so much aggrieved. And then he sent his disciples to speak Srimad Bhagavatam, 2 verses, important verses. Then by attracting those, then he is attracted by hearing after that merciful Krishna. Then he came back, and that's when he is speaking this. He has heard from Vyasadeva whole Srimad Bhagavatam. So he is telling this. Parinistito api Nirgunya Aditavan Ramantesma. Even though I was situated in transcendence, but Uttama Sloka Lelaya Aditavan. So I was heard. So even though I was situated, but I was attracted by this topmost leelas, the pastimes of the Supreme Lord. Then immediately I was absorbed, and then I ran towards to hear, because they were only chanting. Vyasadeva is clearly given, chant these specific verses. So those verses are, one is this, Aradhyo Bhagavan Vrajesha Tanay Tadham Sri Vrindavanam Ramya Kachit Upasana Vrajavadu Vargenaya Kalpita Srimad Bhagavatam Pramanamalam Prema Pumardo Maha Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhor Matamidam Tatra Adhar Naparaha. Especially first 2 lines, these other 2 lines might be later edition from Chaitanya later edition by devotees, one of the acharyas probably. I'm thinking I have to check that, but the first 2 lines specifically talking about the Aradhyo Vrajesha, the topmost personality, how all the Vrindavan was, everybody is worshipping the topmost personality, Supreme Lord Sri Krishna. So that especially the cohort girls, cohort boys, everybody is worshipping this Vrajesha Tanaya, no other, not Dwaraka, not Mathura Krishna, specifically Vrindavan Krishna. He was attracted by that. Then he was doubtful. Maybe some cunning, something is there, mysterious here. Then they chanted this verse, Aho Bakiyam Stanakala Kodam Jigam Shaya Apayad Api Sadvi Asadvi. So Dayalum Saranam Braja, Kimva Dayalum Saranam Braja. What is it? Labim Datri, I forget the 3rd line, where it is mentioned how Putana was a demon trying to kill Krishna. Kimva, Putana, Aho Bakiyam, is a sister of Bakasur, demon. Aho Bakiyam Stanakala Kuta has put a poison on her breast and trying to feed Krishna, give milk to Krishna. Then what did Krishna do? Krishna given the highest position, Lebire Dhatri, given the topmost position of a mother, position of a mother in Golok Vrindavan, not even in the Vaikuntha Loka, rest of the Vaikuntha. In the topmost planet, topmost position Krishna has given. So Kimva Dayalum, where else? Who else will give this kind of mercy so easily? Krishna has given the topmost position, then immediately ran, came back to Vyasadeva to hear this whole Srimad Bhagavatam. So that's why this is not ordinary literature, this Srimad Bhagavatam. So that the speakers, Sukadeva Goswami, that Vyasadeva, So Vyasadeva has written in his maturity, first of all, he is literary incarnation of the Supreme Lord. He is empowered incarnation, one of the incarnations of the Supreme Lord. So it cannot go wrong. And on top of it, Narada Muni has instructed from a spiritual master to show an example that everybody takes a spiritual master. That is another point here. Srimad Bhagavatam Mahamuni Krute Kimva Pare. So in order to receive this mercy, in order to understand this supreme absolute truth, in order for that to put into practice, what it will need, two things are needed. Sukruti, you need the pious state, Bhakti Unmukha Sukruti. You need the mercy. You need to perform Bhakti Unmukha, that means worshipping Tulsi Maharani, serving the devotees, association of devotees, hearing, chanting, remembering, various, all these types of principles of devotion. 64 items in Nectar of Devotion, chapter 6, it explains. Kimva Parair Ishvara, Sadhyo Hridi Avaruddha. What will happen? Avaruddhate. Avaruddha means immediately Krishna is there as super soul, but he is not giving his remembrance, he is not giving the intelligence to remember him, he is not inspiring you. But immediately, minute you are in that first 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, so the real substance, you are focused, center point, you are always thinking about Krishna, you are trying to put Krishna in the center, then immediately Sadhyo, Hrudi Avaruddha, within the heart, immediately Krishna will be inspiring you. Atra Kritabi, this Kritabi means that Sukruti, because of Bhakti. And then second line is Susrushubi, that means you must be submissive, you must be simple and gentle and enthusiasm with rapt attention, Tatchana, without a second. That example also you will see in Canto 2 beginning itself. Parikshit Sukadeva Goswami is giving Katwang Maharaj example. Within 1 minute, when he understood that he has only 1 minute left in his lifetime, immediately he could remember Krishna and he went back to Godhead. Because he was so much valiant fighter, demigods called him from the earthly planet to demigods planet to fight against the demons. They could won that fight, and then we are going to give you a boon. What boon you want? Then he said, I don't want anything. I just need how long I have time. And then they said, you have 1 minute. Then he immediately remembered Krishna. And then he went back. So that example Parikshit Maharaj, Sukadeva Goswami is giving to Parikshit Maharaj. So that he is not telling something, 7 days you are going to die. I am just giving some theory which you cannot practice. He is giving specific example. That's how one who is self-realized, he will give with examples. That's what one who is in topmost Uttamadhikari stage. There is a Kanishtadhikari, there is a Madhyamadhikari, there is a Uttamadhikari. Some other time we will speak what in each of these Shastra is quoting specific verses there, what exactly it means, what qualities they have. So some other time we can speak. But here specifically, Sadhyo Hrudi Avaruddhate Atra Kritivihi. By performing this auspicious the Bhakti Unmukha Sukruti, then automatically, and then being humble and servant, and then we need the spiritual master. That is another point here. Mahamuni Krute Kimva Parairishvara, it is mentioned, without the guidance of a spiritual master, without the mercy of the spiritual master, we will not be able to focus on this real dharma, of serving the Adokshaya, serving the Supreme Lord, giving up all these adharmas, Vidharma, Chaladharma, Upadharma. Otherwise, we will be focused on all those 5 things, but not the actual real dharma on a day-to-day basis. Only when we understand the real mood of the spiritual master and with rapt attention hear and receive the instructions, then we will be able to by the mercy of the spiritual master. And then Shastra gives an example, and the same Narada Muni is giving the example to Yudhishthira Maharaj, Canto 7, chapter 15, verse number 41, where the same thing is explained in Kena Upanishad also, the same verse, specific verse. Because of the interest of time, I will just give the essence, the gist of it, so that we understand. This can be put into practice even in the corporate world, whatever, business, whatever industry we are in, whatever job we do, whatever type of work we do, we can put that in the same practice, same example. Here it is giving how this body is in parallel to the example of the body. This body is nothing but like a chariot. This is giving the example. The body is a chariot. The senses are the senses are the horses. The reins are the master of the senses, the mind, and then the occupant, the chariot driver is the intelligence, The different destination, the horse is on this, through the reins, you're trying to pull in different destinations, those are the sense objects. And then the person, chariot driver is the intelligence. So it's an actual person who is situated as an occupant in that chariot. He is nothing but the soul. So in this way. So as you are getting on to this particular body, taking on, then situated, then it can run into so many different directions. The same example is like this, like a chariot or car. You take car, you can drive in whatever is where you will go. You may hit onto accident or you may fall into a ditch. So that if you don't drive carefully. Same way, so that when this mind and intelligence, the senses, the horse has the senses, and then horse can, if you are not focused, what will it do? Through different destinations, it can pull you on, through the reins, the senses and sense objects. It will pull you on to different directions. That is what mind's job is, thinking, feeling, willing. It is trying to pull you and trying to get you on to all other dharmas, not the real dharma, but all other things it will try to pull you on. In the corporate world also, we see that the same business also, that body is nothing but a place. It's a place. Say that body means where you are going to open a business. You try to find a nice place to open the business. All these same thing can be applied in parallel. If you are working in IT also, same thing. Who is this our manager or whoever is the director, whoever we are working for, and then what is our position. In that way, so we can relate this example in great detail, and then how to focus ourselves, not run away, not go in different direction, different tangent, but actually focus ourselves in the actual duty, what we have to do. So the real dharma, in this way. So here the soul, that's why we need the spiritual master. We need the intelligence. The chariot driver must be instructed to go a certain place. If you are driving, somebody is driving the car, you are sitting as a participant, as an occupant in a chariot or in a car or in a train, wherever, in a bus. Then you have to guide where you are going to get down, where you are going to go, what is your destination. Then you have to follow. So that's why the spiritual master or the Shastra is giving the guidance, where exactly you need to go, what exactly you need to do, what you have to follow, how you practice in your life, what you have to remove, what you have to make changes. So in this way, so we understand from this verse. There's much more I have to explain, but already time is 9:20. So in this way, this is the practice aspect, Sambandha Abhideya. And another example is also there, how this it applies to the gardener, and then when you are engaged in the bhakti, engaged in any of these jobs, same application is there. By the example of this, you try to put a plant, so the bhakti creeper, and then you try to grow it, what will happen? All the unwanted things, offenses. Then chapter 2 or chapter 3 in canto 2, it explains, after chanting so many years and years, also still we are not able to cry. What is the reason? That means our heart is steel framed. This is more deep. Not somebody just beginning Krishna consciousness, ignore these statements. But this is for those specifically who are in more practicing for maybe 5-10 years or more. So it is explained, because Bhagavatam is about to cut all the knots, basically remove all our false egos. So one who is not able to cry, one who is not, that means it is all because of the offenses. It is all because of the offenses only. Not able to develop that crying, then not able to real genuine love, not able to cry. Then the example is given, like when you are growing a garden, then you have to fence. You have to really cover, especially in US. If you need to do agriculture in India, it may be okay, but here you have to really fence, guard, completely protect. Otherwise, all the other things, animals and so many things will come up and eat everything. So you have to really protect your bhakti creeper by fencing it, by guarding. Especially the fundamental first offense is protecting from not doing an offense against especially the pure devotees who are dedicated their life in giving this mercy of the Supreme Lord. We have to be really careful. So that is the first offense. So the protect, otherwise it is called mad elephant. When you engage in that kind of greatest offense against the pure devotees of the Lord, the spiritual master, so then immediately whatever we performed the pious credits, it can really come to very minimal. So yes, we'll continue in devotion service consciousness where we started, but we will not be able to, our progress will be curtailed and checked because of that. So that's why it requires susru to be humble and simple, gentle in our manners, in our behaviors. Very important. As you grow up in devotion, you must even become more and more humble, more and more become gentle. So that is the main quality we need to develop somehow or the other. So that way we guard against these offenses, and then unwanted things will also grow. As you again water the root, what will happen? Water the plants through Sravanam and Kirtanam. The 9 types of devotion, primarily Sravanam and Kirtanam. Then all other weeds also will come. Different kind of these weeds are explained as material enjoyment, different puja and pratishtha, and then various kinds of unwanted things will come up. These are the weeds. Then we have to detect these weeds. What exactly is going? What are the different situations I am going through? I am facing. Where exactly? How exactly it is happening? Then we have to remove it. Otherwise, what will go? The actual plant will not grow, but all other things only will grow. Then you will be like a stunted. So that's why before it gets worse, then we have to constantly, regularly check ourselves. What exactly is and what kind of sense objects are bringing us down. We are trying to go up, and then again they are bringing down the mind, the sense objects especially. That is what is the biggest problem, dragging us into different direction. So then we have to see and monitor that carefully, and then remove that one after one, these weeds. Bhaktivinoda Thakur explained in great detail in Bhajana Rahasya and Jaiva Dharma that those specific points are elaborately explained when Acharyas explain on the Nectar of Instruction verse number 2, 3, 4. In those essence points from those 2 books. The same concept of this creeper and the different weeds and then fencing, protecting. All these principles, same application can be applied in any part of the world, in any job we do, any type of industry, it doesn't matter. Same principles can be applied. If you really want the benefit, really want to focus, then we must follow these principles. So with that, we'll stop here. Any questions? Already 9:28. I'll unmute. Hold on. Any questions? We talked so much. Any questions so far?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Yes, Srinivas Prabhu, go ahead.
Prabhu, you told Swadharma, Vidharma, and 2 more dharmas, 3 more dharmas.
Yes.
And what is adharma then?
That adharma is nothing but almost like vidharma only. More in detail, but primary, Vidharma and adharma is more or less same thing here. So the one is against religious principles, but the paradharma is following others' dharma. Chala dharma is misinterpreting your own way. Then upadharma is adding your own things. You take some substance, some principles from this karma yoga, some principles from bhakti, some principles from jnana yoga. Or you say, because that's why even when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's time also there are these 20 or 30 owl and bowl and so many different conceptions has come. Different even Nityananda Vamsha and Advaita Vamsha. Even within Advaita Acharya 6 sons, only 3 followed the Vaishnava principle. Other 3 followed their own principles. Even from Vedic knowledge also we are discussing the 6 philosophies. The absolute truth is one, but all other 6 philosophies, Gautama, Kanada, Kapila, and then you have Ashtavakra, and then one more I forget. They are trying to propound this Nyaya, Karma Mimancha, and then what is it? Vaibhashika or Vaisheshika. In this way they are giving their own different theories, different philosophies. But all those are rejected. The monism is rejected, dualism is rejected. That's why it's propounding achincha beda abeda tattva. That means simultaneously one and different. We are individual as living entities. We are minute, and the Supreme Lord is the greatest. So in quality we are one because the rasa is there, the relationship is there. We can create, and we can also do some small things. But the Supreme Lord can do many things because everything is coming from Him. So That way, so simultaneous is one and different. So in difference is the quality, the quantity. Quantity is big and we are small. He can do many things by just by his thought itself. He can do anything, big things. But we cannot do that. So that is the difference. So that way, so that is the actual essence. But when all other principles, anything we see, so that will fall under these 5 categories. So. Yeah, Vidharma is also under in Bhagavad Gita when it is talking about akarma, vikarma. So this Vidharma is nothing but vikarma, which means against the religious principles. So that means yes, you can follow devotee, yes, you can chant nicely, but also you can yes, you can eat meat, you can drink, you can do all the things. Yes, means everybody has to start somewhere. Yes, that's all right, because not everybody is perfected. Everybody has to go through. Everybody is bringing their own bag of things from the past life. They have to start, but this chanting, this part of this process of devotion will enhance them, will bring them, will slowly, gradually they will be able to give up these things. But it's not a bar. It's not a bar for anyone. Anybody can take up this process, even if they are performing religious activities. That's fine, because people has to start somewhere. It's not a bar, but they have to understand these principles and then slowly and gradually apply it, practice it. And that is and here the specific, this verse is talking about the practical application aspect of the actual dharma must be understood from Srila Prabhupada and current disciples, so that way we understand exactly what exactly is the real dharma means. So that's why even sometimes before you open up business, before you do take up big things, you must pray to the Supreme Lord. And you must ask guidance from other devotees, or if spiritual master is around, you seek guidance. If it is especially big things we do in our life, we must seek guidance, because once we start doing it, then it is too late. If something goes wrong, then you cannot blame Krishna, you cannot blame spiritual master or anybody, because we are the ones who has taken decision without actually following the proper process. So that's why it is very important. Even the materially also, it's very important. Sometimes we make wrong decisions, we enter into different unwanted things, then it will really degrade us in bhakti, take us away from Krishna. That is one of the 64 items in devotional service. Accept what is favorable, reject unfavorable. Otherwise, our advancement will be curtailed. I hope that answers, Srinivas Prabhu.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Any other questions? Anyone else?
Thank you for the very wonderful class, Prabhuji. Thank you very much for the detailed, especially the last part about how to remove unwanted desires, how to cultivate it. Very nice to hear that again and again. So thank you very much, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
All glories to Prabhupada. I'm just presenting whatever I heard from my own from Prabhupada and from other Siksha Gurus and from my spiritual master. I'm just sharing what I have realized after studying last 10 plus years. So nothing of my own. So it's the mercy of the Guru and Vaishnavas. That's all I can say. Any other questions? Otherwise we'll stop here. Thank you very much.
Prabhuji, one small question, Prabhuji.
Yes, Sridhar Prabhu, go ahead.
Prabhuji, just now you said we have to take the guidance from Guru Maharaj.
Yes. Yeah, Guru or other devotees. I mean, those who are advanced in Krishna consciousness, confidentially you can discuss. Yeah.
Guru Maharaj or Guru, Siksha Guru.
Yeah.
So, in that scenarios, how can we take the decision or how to follow this?
Yeah, understood your question.